Hello students, I hope everybody is enjoying good health at home. So today we'll begin the topic tropism. So this is the third video for the series control and coordination. So watch those earlier two videos so that you can understand this one. So as you know, tropism is nothing but movement, okay? So how the plant move and why the plant move in a particular direction, let us study the reason behind them. Now for tropism, make sure write down these particular terms. So we have lot many types of them. So as I have just told you that tropism is nothing but underline this definition also. So it is a biological phenomenon, okay, indicating the growth, underline the word growth and turning movement of a organism. So in this case we are dealing with plants, we talk about plants. So they respond to the stimulus and then the tropism activity takes place. So underline these three terms for the definition. So it is a biological phenomenon of indicating growth and movement, okay, by these plants as we are reading about them to or in response to environmental conditions or stimulus. So depending upon those movements, so we again further divide them into some types that you should be knowing it. So if they move towards the light, then we call it phototropism. Write the word phototropism. And if they move towards gravity, then we call it geotropism. Geo means earth, tropism means towards earth, geotropism. If they respond to a particular substance or chemicals, we call it, then we use the word chemotropism. Write down that word chemo, C-H-E-M-O, okay, chemotropism. And if the movement is due to response to water, the word become hydrotropism, because hydro means water, you know it. And if the response is due to mechanical stimulation, we read about this topic, you should know the name, that is called thigmotropism, okay. It is called thigmo. So write that word Thigmo, okay, thigmotropism. So for us we have these tropism in our syllabi. So check out the name again. First one is phototropism, then is geotropism, chemotropism, hydrotropism and thigmotropism. So write down these words and you have to learn these definitions also, okay. So as a result, the plant move and show the result, then we should know that why the plant show that movement. So underline this answer, because the plant cells are inseparable due to their cell walls, okay. So they can't move relative to one another. So underline this number. So why the plant show tropism? Because plant cells are inseparable due to their cell walls. So they can't move relative to one another. As a result, they respond to the tropic movement due to the stimulus. Now let us see what those movements are there. So first of all, I have told you tropism is nothing but a growth movement, and this tropism basically we will understand them, that they are of two main subcategories. One is positive. So when the tropism takes place in the direction of the stimulus where it originates, in the direction of that stimuli, then we call it positive tropism, and if it is away from the stimulus, then we call it negative tropism. So underline both the words positive and negative tropism. And for example is concerned, we have two good examples in case of phototropism. So in case of stem, they demonstrate the positive tropism because they bend towards light, while in case of roots, you know, they demonstrate negative phototropism, okay, negative phototropism because they move away from the light. So these two examples you can quote for both the tropism. Now this is the one that you have to learn, because this mentioned, the whole diagram is been given in your book also. So here we take the example of a plant called Mimosa Pudica. So write down this Name of this particular plant, Mimosa, okay, Mimosa Pudica is the full name, Pudica, okay. So, this plant commonly referred as touch me not plant also, you can see from the figure shot. So, you should know what is the mechanism for this particular plant, because you might have seen some of you that as you touch this particular plant by an organism or we put the hand there, what happens is that the leaves droop, that it folded down. So, why it happens and what is the reason behind it, let us see for that. So, in case of this Mimosa Pudica plant, underline the whole data, okay, because this is the part of your syllabi. So, write down what actually happens. So, folding of the leaves is brought about by the change in turgidity. Write down the new word, we have read about them. Turgidity of the cell of pulvinus. Okay, it is a part of a base part of petiole, part of leaf. You might have read about in 7th or 8th standard. So, it brought about by the change in turgidity of the cells of pulvinus. Okay. So, when we touch this sensitive part of the leaf, they react to the stimuli of our touch, and there is a higher pressure at that point, and the water in the vacuoles of the cell loses it, okay, to the adjacent cell. So, water moves off. As the water escapes from those leaf zone where you have touch, the leaf become flaccid. Write down that word, FLACCID. It becomes flaccid, and as a result, the leaf closes, okay. So, it just closes down or droops, and if it is left undisturbed for a few seconds, so they again slowly open up and regain the turgidity. So, it is basically the movement of water from the site of the touch where you have touched it, and again when the leaves are left undisturbed, the leaf again become turgid and take its original shape, okay. So, that is the answer for the why the leaf droops in case of Mimosa pudica when we touch it. Now, the second topic apart from tropism, so we have called the plant hormones, the big topic, and these hormones in plants, some of the names you should be knowing about them are cytokinins and gibberellins. Then we have the auxins and ethylene, and of course the abscisic acid. So, basically we are going to deal with these 5 main hormones. So, auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid. So, we will take one by one as we proceed in the tutorial. So, first let us see what are, okay, plant hormone, okay. So, understanding the hormones. So, before moving into this hormone segment, as I have just told you, so you must know these types. So, write it down in your copies. First is auxin, then is gibberellin, G-I-B-B, okay, G-I-B-B-E-R, G-I-B-B-E-R-E, then double L-I-N, gibberellins, you can write it. Then cytokinin, then ethylene, this is gaseous hormone, and abscisic acid, ABS-CISIC, abscisic acid, okay. So, these are the 5 hormones for our syllabi. Now, let us know what actually these hormones are. So, again these hormones are chemical produced in one part of the body and used at the target sites, okay. So, they are the chemical produced in the body at one part of it and used at elsewhere part in the body. So, these hormones play different roles. So, here we have just basic information, though we will take them one by one. So, in case of auxins, so they are responsible for apical dominance. In case of gibberellins, you can say they promote cell elongation. Then in case of cytokinins, they promote cell division, and in case of abscisic acid, they promote seed dormancy, okay. So, they act as a growth inhibitor. So, these are general information about these, and let us see one by one as the tutorial moves in. So, underline the word. First hormone that we are going to study is gibberellins, okay. So write them in your notes copy so that you understand the terms, because they are in the part of your syllabi. You should know the names and the functions. So for in case of gibberellins, so they are the plant hormones responsible for growth and development. Underline the word growth and development. And basically gibberellins are acids, and they are produced, underline the name, they are produced in plastids. So sometimes we ask you this 1 mark question. So they are produced in plastids, okay. And the main function basically is they are responsible for growth and development in case of plants. Now then, what are the function apart from those option of elongations and the cell stimulation? Underline these function one by one. So in case of gibberellins, as I have told you, they stimulate cell elongation, so the plant can grow taller. Then other role is basically the stem elongation, then germination of seeds, flowering in plants, then ripening of fruit is also their role. And as I have told you, they are produced in the plastids. So underline all these functions. So main job is to elongate cell so that the plant, the stem of the plant undergoes cell elongation or stem elongation. Then they germinate, they do start flowering, and it also help in the fruit ripening. So basically, you know, they act as a stimulate the cells for the growth. And as I have told you that they are produced in the plastid, that should be known to you again, okay, because this is a very important part of it. Then move to the second one called cytokinins, okay. So these plant hormones promote cell division, okay, and that cell division is called cytokinesis. Underline the word cytokinesis. So cyto is cytoplasm, you know, kinesis means to grow for further. So cell growth or cytoplasmic growth is the work for cytokinins, okay. So they are also involved in the cell growth and differentiation, that I have definition told you what is cell differentiation. So apical dominance, formation of axillary bud, underline the word formation of axillary, okay, AXILLARY, okay. And they are also referred as CK, is the abbreviation for cytokinins, and they are the phytohormones, so help in cell division, that is the main part of it, and plants root and shoot grow, differentiation. So these all topics is just been told to you, and there is one thing called leaf senescence, okay. So underline this word, the leaf senescence, the word is SENESCENCE, okay. So leaf senescence means the fall of leaves when the leaf dries off. Then the next hormone for us in this case, after getting into the cytokinins, is your abscisic acid. Underline the word ABA, okay. This is the abbreviation for abscisic acid. So basically this is the growth inhibitor, that means stop growth, okay. And abscisic acid in this case, where they promote the dormancy in seeds and bud, and this is the opposite of breaking the dormancy, okay. So abscisic acid promote, so they make the seed dormant, you can call it. But next is also promote the closing of stomata and the falling of leaves. So underline all this number. So right from promote dormancy of seeds, dormancy in seeds and buds, promote closing of stomata, and of course promotes the falling of leaves. And as I have just told you, in case of ethylene, so this particular hormone is a gaseous hormone, and it acts as growth regulator, synthesis by most of the plant organs, and it also help in the ripening of fruit and aging tissues. So basically ethylene is the gaseous plant growth regulator and help in the ripening of fruits. Now write down these terms again for ethylene one by one, just I have told you. So, it induces flowering in mango tree, it promotes sprouting in tubers such as potato, it breaks the dormancy of seeds and buds. I have just told you this definition. So, underline these terms one by one. And the fourth part is it enhances respiratory rate, okay, during the formation of or the ripening of fruits. And since it also help in the ripening of some of the fruits such as tomatoes and citrus fruits, you should be giving the example. And it increases the root growth and root hair formation, okay. So, when the root hair formation takes place, the absorption surface area enhances and the things are absorbed, which we have read about in the topic of transportation in plants. Now, sometime we do ask you to compare the both the abscisic acid and gibberellins. So, approximately they act as opposite to each other. So, in case of abscisic acid, I have told you they inhibit growth, gibberellins will go for growing parent. So, it enhances the growth. So, in abscisic acid, I have told you they promote the dormancy of seeds. Here it overcomes the natural dormancy. The third point is so important for you. So, in abscisic acid, it stops the synthesis of RNA, okay, and protein. That is the main point. While gibberellins, they promotes the RNA and protein synthesis. Then you can see in case of abscisic acid, they promote stomatal closure. Here they promote stomatal opening. So, you can see they are always acting opposite to each other actions. Then the last you can write it that in case of abscisic acid, they prevent the amylase activity, while they promote amylase activity during seed germination. So, among these points, you can write some of them for your reference. Now, the same thing which we have just told you about ethylene, and check out some of the points so that you should not forget about them. So, okay, so stimulate shoot and root differentiation, it also function of ethylene more or less. Then I have told you it stimulate flower ripening, so help in the ripening of flower or ripening of opening of flower and the ripening of fruits. So, underline both the terms, the opening of flower and the ripening of fruits. Now, in case of abscisic acid, I have just told you some of the terms, that in case of that they induce dormancy and it involved with the leaf and fruit abscism, means fall of them when they ripe up. Then it inhibits seed germination, and I have just told you ABA means abscisic acid play a very good important role in controlling stomatal opening and closing. So, these points are repeated again in the tutorial. So, you make sure you make a note of it. Now, the biggest of the hormone in case of plant is the auxin. Now, we are taking them in this case. So, these auxins, they promote cell elongation, okay, and increase the plant length. So, as you can see in the photo shot, this hormone, how it act. So, when the shoot moves towards or the seedling moves toward the direction of stimulus called light, so these causes the destruction of auxin. So, the auxin moves towards the darker part of that particular zone, and hence the concentration of that hormone or auxin increases in that zone. So, stem grow faster on other side of it. So, this is the way the growth takes place in plant. And I have told you that auxin is one of the important growth hormone in the plant. So, it regulates growth, particularly in case of stimulating cell elongation in stems, okay, and cell division. Underline this word, promote a massive role in cell division and differentiation. Also in the formation of fruit development and the formation of roots from cuttings, okay. So, underline all these terms for the action of auxins. So, number 1, it is a growth regulator, elongation in stems, they promote cell division, underline this number, important point for that, and the fruit development, the cell division and differentiation, and in the formation of roots from cuttings. So, if you read the whole topic again, so as I have just told you that auxins are the phytohormones, repeat the whole option, they stimulate cell elongation, okay, and with the help of cytokinins, auxin stimulate cell division also, I just have told you, okay. So, these terms should be known to you, and auxins are responsible for phototropic movement, geotropic movement and hydrotropic, underline all these terms. So, all these movement with respect to the stimuli, light, phototropism, geotropism, hydrotropism is governed and initiated by the same hormone called auxins. So, here you can cut short the whole data endpoint wise. So, cell elongation we have told you. So, apical dominance. So, it is also called indole, write it down, indole acetic acid, okay. Acetic acid, this is the chemical name for this hormone called auxin, indole acetic acid. So, write down this name or number, stand for IAA, okay. Then it it is a new word called parthenocarpy. So, that is the development of fruit without fertilization. We will read about them in the next chapters. So, you just write the word parthenocarpy, okay. Parthenocarpy, parthenocarpy, the new word for you. And then it prevent the premature fall of leaf and flowers. Then it also useful in stem cutting when they have to initiate the root formation, underline the word grafting, that we will again read in the next chapters. Then it promote the flowering of the promote flowering in some of the fruit like pineapple. So, these points please mark them and write them in the respective notes copy for your information. Now, ultimately, now write down this definition for plant hormone that we already have done for the whole chapter. So, the plant hormones are chemical compound, we have told you, and are present in very less concentration in plants. Now, there are derivatives for it. So, these things should be known to everybody. So, please make note of it. Number one, in case of auxins, I use the word derivative of indole, I-N-D-O-L-E, okay, I-N-D-O-L-E, indole. So, write down this number for auxins, they are obtained from indole compounds, you can call it. In case of gibberellins, the word is terpenes, T-E-R-P-E-N-E-S, terpenes, okay. This is also good for the student, those who are appearing for NTSC, okay, terpenes. Then in case of cytokinins, they are adenine, so A-D-E-N-I-N-E, adenine. And in case of abscisic acid, write down the word carotenoids. So, this is a new word for you, carotenoids, C-A-R-O-T-E-N-O-I-D-S. Just learn these names, from these the compounds or the hormones are obtained, carotenoids. And last comes the ethylene, which I have just told you. For that abscisic acid was carotenoids, and for ethylene is a gas or gaseous hormone. So, underline all these terms again. So, indole for auxins, terpenes for gibberellins, adenine for cytokinins, carotenoids for abscisic acid, and gases for ethylene. So, watch this whole video tutorial properly, make a note of it, and make sure that write them in your fair notes copy and learn them properly. Take care of your health. Bye.